Imagine discovering an antique so beautiful, so unique, that you can't resist bringing it home. But what if that object wasn't just old, it was cursed? Welcome to the chilling tale of The Haunted Mirror, a story that will make you question what lies beyond the glass. In this video, we follow Clara, a curious antique collector who stumbles upon a mysterious mirror in an abandoned house. What starts as an innocent find quickly spirals into a nightmare of whispers, shadows, and haunting visions. Is the mirror just a relic of the past, or does it hold something far more sinister? Get ready for a spine-tingling journey filled with suspense, terror, and a curse that refuses to let go. Turn off the lights, grab a blanket, and prepare to be haunted. Let's dive in. The Haunted Mirror. There's a house on the edge of town that everyone avoids. The locals call it the Grayson House, abandoned for decades, but its reputation is far from forgotten. They say strange things happen there, but what truly cursed the place was the mirror. And this is where our story begins. A young woman named Clara, new to town, was drawn to the Grayson house. She was an antique collector, and the rumors intrigued her. The idea of finding something unique and possibly valuable pushed her to explore the house one cold, gray afternoon. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and her curiosity, she stepped through the broken door into a world of dust and decay. The house creaked and groaned as if protesting her intrusion. Cobwebs hung like curtains, and the air was thick with the scent of rot. Clara's flashlight scanned the room until it caught a glint of something metallic. There, leaning against the far wall, was a tall, ornate mirror. Its frame was gold, intricately carved with figures that seemed to twist and writhe in the dim light. Despite the grime, the glass itself was pristine, reflecting her face as if it were a photograph. Clara couldn't look away. Her reflection seemed off, as though it moved a split second after she did. A chill ran down her spine, but she shook it off. An antique mirror like this could be worth a fortune, she whispered. She decided to take it home. That night, the mirror stood in her living room, cleaned and polished to perfection. Clara admired her find, snapping a picture to post online. But as she looked at the photo, her heart stopped. In the reflection behind her, there was a figure, a pale, shadowy woman with hollow eyes staring directly at the camera. She spun around, but the room was empty. Her logical mind told her it was a trick of the light, but the unease lingered. She covered the mirror with a sheet and went to bed, hoping to forget the unsettling image. Sleep didn't come easily. The night was filled with strange noises, whispers that seemed to come from inside the walls, the faint sound of footsteps pacing outside her bedroom door. When she finally drifted off, her dreams were a nightmare. She was standing in front of the mirror, but her reflection wasn't her. It was the pale woman, grinning wickedly, her bony hand reaching out of the glass toward Clara's throat. Clara woke up screaming. Her bedroom was dark, but something felt wrong. The whispers were louder now, and the air was icy. She reached for her phone to check the time, but her hand froze. The mirror, which she had left in the living room, was now leaning against her bedroom wall, uncovered. She stared at it, her own reflection trembling as she clutched the blankets. Then, her reflection moved. Not a twitch or a blink, it stepped forward. Clara screamed and threw her lamp at the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 shards. The room fell silent. The next morning, Clara was gone. Her apartment was eerily clean, save for the broken shards of glass scattered across the floor. The mirror was gone too. Her friends and family searched for her, but no trace was ever found. Weeks later, at an antique shop 2 towns over, a man purchased a beautiful, ornate mirror with a golden frame. As he carried it home, he swore he saw something, a pale, shadowy figure smiling back at him. The man placed the mirror in his hallway, admiring how it brightened the space. That night, as he walked past it on his way to bed, he froze. The reflection in the mirror showed his hallway, but the lights were flickering, and the shadows seemed alive. A woman's faint laughter echoed through the house, but he dismissed it as exhaustion. But the next day, strange things began happening. Doors would creak open on their own, objects moved from where he'd left them, and cold spots appeared throughout the house. The man grew paranoid, avoiding the mirror at all costs. One evening, he worked up the courage to cover the mirror with a heavy cloth. As he reached out, the cloth was yanked from his hands. The reflection in the mirror was no longer his hallway. It was a dark, empty room, with the pale woman standing in the center, her hollow eyes fixed on him. Her lips moved silently, forming words he couldn't hear. Terrified, he called an antique dealer to take the mirror away. The dealer arrived the next morning, intrigued by the man's frantic demeanor. As they moved the mirror into the truck, the dealer asked, "Are you sure you want to part with such a unique piece?" "Yes," the man whispered. "Just take it. I don't care what you do with it." The mirror was sold again, this time to a collector in the city. And so, the curse of the haunted mirror continued, claiming victims one by one, as the pale woman waited patiently for the next curious soul to bring her into their home.